There you see Greg Biffle passing two former Indianapolis 500 winners, and we've got pit stops happening already under green. Vince?
Tony Stewart is in. He had been running down as far as 21st and then started charging up to 11th. Darian Grubb has been massaging this car all day long, and it's getting better and better. We'll see if Stewart can be a factor down the stretch. Good stop by the 14 guys.
As Tony comes back out, you saw Greg Biffle. He has come awfully close to that wall every time he's on that lap, the last 3 laps, and here comes a bunch of people, including second place Juan Pablo Montoya is heading towards you, Dave Burns, if he can make sure that Marcus Ambrose doesn't get in the way.
And he doesn't want any distractions when he's coming down pit road. You heard him say that he really doesn't do anything different, even after that speeding penalty on pit road last year. Certainly he'll watch that tachometer to make sure he's not over this year. Comes down and calling for no changes right now on the car. It was a little bit loose when he'd slam on the brakes, but that was just a condition he could control with his own feet, so they won't make any adjustments. The tires going on are fresh and full of air, and so far after that first right front was bad, no problems at all for Juan Pablo on the tires. Jamie?
And Mark Martin was too tight in traffic. The call was 4 tires, 2 rounds out of wedge in the left rear. It was a good stop. He's down and away. Dave?
Jamie McMurray is on and off of pit road. Kevin Harvick leads pit road. Harvick's car was going back to the original air pressures. He didn't like the way that felt. Jamie McMurray was loose. Also leaving pit road, Jeff Burton during this round of pit stops.
Jeff Gordon as well. There's Matt Kenseth coming back out. Dale Earnhardt Jr. as well, as everybody here working lap number 98. Now this puts an interesting twist into this as everybody pits on lap 98. That's whoa, look out!
Just about got tagged.
Biffle's in. Let's go take a look.
All right, come on, we'll get it.
Very close call for the leader right there. He said the water temperature was good. It would have been bad if he'd crushed the radiator right there, but he gets around Keselowski. So coming in, Greg Biffle wants a half round on the wedge adjustment, just a little bit loose on the race car. Doc?
Likewise, a little bit loose for Kurt Busch. 4 tires, slight air pressure adjustment. Busch is down and away.
So after a heart-stopping moment for Greg Biffle and his team, Roush Fenway Racing. Let's go back to Doc one more time.
And what a difficult day it has been for Jimmy Johnson. Again, major chassis adjustments. They went back to the garage and came back with a handful of shock absorbers. They were thinking about changing shocks, but they can get a pit stop under the yellow flag. 4 tires, and again, Jimmy is away.
And the 99 of Carl Edwards rotated through to the lead, but now he has pulled down pit road, and he makes his way down that long, slow 55-mile-an-hour trek towards his pit stall, well past start-finish line. Doc?
Carl Edwards saying the car is a little bit free in and free off. It's still tight in the middle of the corner. They are continuing to make just ever so slight air pressure adjustments. Carl said it's gotten better. It is more free than tight. If they can just help him on the exit, the car will be a lot better of making a pass.
You can see that Reed Sorensen, after that early incident where he got heavy damage, they had managed to get back out, and that was our over-the-wall Sean Peak, the jack man for the team. You saw them complete theirs. They are 37 laps down in 35th position. And that was that big wreck that we had on lap number 1 that put them behind the wall. We can also tell you Robbie Gordon has gotten back out on track. He had an incident earlier with a blowout. He is 54 laps down. There comes the race leader, and it is Juan Pablo Montoya with Greg Biffle right behind. And the reason for that, guys, as we're looking at the clocks, it looks like pit stops.
Well, the pit stops are very comparable right there, just looking at them, 13.2 to 13.5. And looks like maybe that hiccup Biffle had getting into his pit stop from Keselowski cost him some time.
Well, he had a 0.7 of a second lead before the pit stop, and right now he trails by just 0.3 of a second. And you can see how close that is on the racetrack as they make their way through turn number 3.
Yeah, these two guys have separated themselves by about 6 seconds over Jamie McMurray.
You want to talk about moments that are the difference makers? Here it is.
Yeah, got a little bit of contact right there, but it didn't look like it cost him a lot of time.
I think it got the pit crew a little bit. Even though they still made a good stop, he went a little bit further, and it just threw him off a little. And we're talking about only a second from where he came in with 0.7 of a second lead versus out with 0.3 of a second behind.
Well, between Montoya and Biffle, they have led all but 15 laps today. We've had 8 different leaders. Jamie McMurray, he's one of those Ganassi drivers that could have the trifecta happen. Greg Biffle, Ford's best hope. But the man they're all chasing right now, Juan Pablo.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Brickyard 400, presented by Golden Corral, is brought to you in part by Burger King, who remind you to have it your way.
56 laps to go in the Brickyard 400. Juan Pablo Montoya leading. A reminder, the Mopar Mile High NHRA Nationals finals come up tonight at 7 Eastern over on ESPN2. Next weekend, racing includes the NASCAR Nationwide Series from Iowa Speedway, Saturday 7 Eastern ESPN2, and the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series from Pocono, presented by Aaron's, next Sunday 1 Eastern on ESPN. Coverage starts at noon Eastern with NASCAR Countdown. That will be over on ESPN2 next Sunday from Pocono. 55 laps to go. The lead changed hands on a 2-lap exchange of pit stops a moment ago. Greg Biffle came in leading Montoya, stayed out an extra lap. Montoya ended the exchange with the lead. This from Biffle's car a minute ago.
Well, I sure hope that wasn't a race, Irwin. Me too, buddy. Me too. Did we get the advantage we needed by staying out an extra lap? No, we just wasn't on the pit road with a 29, 31, and all of them around us, about 10 of them pitting around us. We didn't know Keselowski was going to stop you.
All right, so the exchange between Greg Irwin, the crew chief, and Greg Biffle, the driver, who, again, started the pit stop exchange with the lead and wound up chasing Juan Pablo Montoya. Rusty, Brad, Ray, valid question. Was that the race?
that could be the race, because track position is everything in the world. When I saw Montoya hit pit road a lap before Greg Biffle, you knew that he had fresher tires, and these guys run that first lap after they exit pit road like it's a qualifying lap. Now, not only did he pit early and get that position there, he also beat him in the pit stop. Montoya's pit stop is a 13.2 compared to Biffle's 13.5. So Brad, a little here, a little there, and he's got the lead now.
Yeah, I don't think I would just go ahead and give it away to Montoya, though. I still do believe they do have another pit stop that they're going to have to make. They're both going to have to come down pit road one more time. Greg Biffle could possibly get something back there, but it's going to have to be perfect.
Let's have a little round table here. DJ and Andy listening and joining as well from the booth. Guys, you see these final 53 laps unfolding. What do you see as far as strategy, the one more stop and so on? Andy, what are you seeing?
Well, I see just one more stop for everybody, but I didn't quite understand exactly what Biffle was referring to there. If he needed to go run an extra lap just for fuel and he still wasn't able to make it or not. But I really felt like everybody could make it from here.
Yeah, I think I agree, Andy. Everybody, I believe, can make it from here. One of the things that will play in, not just a fast pit stop, on how clear of a pit road your entry and exit. You know, we've seen, I'm not so sure that Montoya picking pit number 1 under caution might not be the best pit road. We've seen guys have momentum under green. They've got to be able to get in. You saw that incident with the 16 and with Brad Keselowski. That slowed the 16 down maybe just enough, threw his pit crew off just enough to cost him some time. They're just going to get one more crack at this.
Hey, DJ, I don't know about you, buddy, but every time my guys made a mistake or else I questioned something, I would do just what Biffle did. I mean, he's probably thinking, man, I wish I could have got in the same lap as Montoya or maybe a lap early, because I think he's a little hot that Montoya got him on those fresher tires.
Yeah, that's a good point, Rusty. I was just going to talk about the same thing. I think Brian Patty may have done something to get his driver the lead and just get him back out front, knowing how important that track position is, that knowing just that one lap was enough. Andy brought this up to me a while ago, that might have been 3/4 of a second, got him out front, and now Biffle's actually paying the price for all of that happening.
I'll just throw a couple things at you. First of all, I'm just stunned. I think, Andy, you said this a few minutes ago. I'm stunned at how much the first two have separated themselves from third place on back. Jamie McMurray in third place is 9 seconds behind the lead. And the other part is Jimmy Johnson.
Man, it's incredible.
Can you believe this?
No, he's 43 seconds behind, really struggling to keep pace with the guys around him for that 22 all the way back to 32 space. Don't know what's happened to the 48, but they have absolutely fallen off the face of the earth.
It looked like they bit the bullet, tried to make a change on the car to get it where it would handle better, but then they lost, 10 or 15 spots, and I think that is worth speed in itself. You get back in this dirty air and you just can't go.
You talk about that dirty air in the lines, and Alan, you're talking about you're really surprised how Montoya and Biffle have got way out. One thing I've been noticing, Biffle's line and Montoya's line are almost almost identical. And these guys are blowing everybody's doors off.
And another race for 13th and 14th place. One other thing, Marty. History of this race says we'll have a late caution somewhere. Average last run of the race under green is 27 laps. We'll see.
Yeah, the final caution flew 32 to go or less in the last 9 races here at the Brickyard, Alan. Good point. And there goes the pass by the Aflac 99. And Carl Edwards takes the position away from Jeff Gordon. So move Edwards up to 13th. So right now, your race leader is working a little bit of traffic. As you can see, the 39 of Ryan Newman. Boy, Ryan's had a long day. He's 28th right now, 2 laps down. But your race leader, Juan Pablo Montoya, he's led 57, and he's still got 50 to go.